Happy Monday, everyone. Thank you for sharing your afternoon with us. This is your Kababayan Today, America's first and only daily talk show for and about the Filipinos, where on Monday afternoons, we talk about something that's very important to us, and that is our health. It's time to take charge. It's time to take care of ourselves because no one else will if we don't take care of ourselves, correct? Our guest this afternoon is somebody that you've met in the past, Helene. Thank you for sharing your afternoon with us on Kababayan Today.
Thank you for having me, Janelle.
Yes, flying all the way from Texas to join us today and to talk to us about something that's, we often overlook this, medicine cabinets and its state and the situation, how to clean it, right?
Exactly.
Why is that?
Well, it's whenever we're sick, we're not thinking about the medicine that we have in our hands and then putting it away in the right place, and so everything ends up getting disorganized.
Right.
And in the end, it can cost us really important time, because if you have an emergency, let's say you cut yourself, you need to find your wound supplies immediately, you need to know where those things are. Or if somebody's having a heart attack, you need to get aspirin while somebody else calls 911, you need to know where that aspirin is. So it's really important to make sure you know where your medicines are kept.
Very practical thoughts. You would think that it's, it's common sense, but then actually no, it's not that common all the time. So how do we organize our medicine cabinets?
The first thing you'll want to do is gather up all of your vitamins, all of your pills from around the house, because sometimes we stash things when we're not thinking.
Yes. Okay.
So gather them all together and start to group them by the time of day you need to take your regular supplements.
Time of day. Okay.
So you can have all of your morning pills together, all of your afternoon pills together, your evening pills, and then also make sure that you gather all of those medicines you use for occasional ailments. So you can get all of your stomach and digestive medicines together, aches and pains, cold, flu, and allergy, and so on. And that's how you can group them in your different containers.
And I see you have a display here, so it's important to use, I guess, Tupperware to group different medicines together.
Right. It's really helpful if you use any kind of clear container, so that way you can see in right away. So it would be great if it's labeled, but if it's not, you can still see right in. And then you want to use a size of the container that will fit exactly what you need to hold.
Okay.
Because if you use a large container and you only have a few supplies, sometimes when we see open space, we end up dumping in other things that don't belong in there.
Oh, right.
So you want to make sure you get a container that fits exactly what you need to store.
All right. And after you've organized it in such a way that it's beautifully displayed now on our table, especially with the small ones, you can actually keep those as well with the different dates.
Yes,
and
you
the
can.
days. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And expiration dates are really important. You want to make sure that you go through your medicines at least a couple of times a year. So a great way to remember that is to hook that habit into Halloween and Valentine's Day.
What does that mean?
Well, on Halloween, that is the beginning of the heavy cold and flu season. So around Halloween time, you want to get all of your supplies together, make sure all the expireds are gotten rid of.
Halloween. Oh, yes. I didn't know that.
And you've
learned something new.
Yeah, you've got your fresh supplies for the cold and flu season.
Okay.
And then for Valentine's Day, that's near the tail end of cold and flu, but before the heavy spring allergy season.
Okay.
So that way you can make sure you restock. Anything that you had to use over the winter is replenished and you're ready to go. So that way you don't have to worry about running out to the store at the last minute when you're not feeling well.
Let's talk about expiration dates. How serious are those dates that we see on the containers?
Well, you definitely want to talk to your doctor about that, but a safe bet is within a few months after the expiration date, that a pill starts to lose its potency. And especially if it's kept in a warm place or a humid place, the compounds start to break down. So it's just best to play it safe. When you see that expiration date, if it's passed, then you want to make sure you safely dispose of your medicine.
Okay, which brings me to my next question. How do you safely dispose of medicine? Is there a process to it?
If you want to do it yourself, then it's best to make sure that everything is diluted or dissolved in case an animal gets into your trash or there's anybody snooping around. You want to make sure that if it's ingested by somebody else or something else, nobody gets hurt. So what you could do is just simply open up your medicine bottle, and you can pour in water.
Water is fine?
Yes.
Just to dilute it.
Dilute it. You could also use something that is inedible, like kitty litter or coffee grounds.
Okay, even coffee grounds?
Yes, so that way it becomes safer just in case it gets ingested.
So you're saying that before we put this in the trash, we just add water to it or coffee grounds or cat litter.
Right.
Okay.
And so the important thing is to keep it safe so it doesn't get ingested, and also to keep it out of the water system. You don't want to dump it into the toilet or into the sink. Right. Now, if this is too much work, then you can find a pharmacy nearby. Some of them offer safe disposal programs, so you don't have to do any of this. And then the DEA has a special take-back program the last Saturday in April and October. You can bring all of your medications to the DEA sites, and they will take care of it for you.
Because why is it important again? We have to remind everyone why is it important that we're disposing of expired medicines
Number
properly?
one, to keep it out of the house so nobody accidentally ingests it there. Number two, if it's disposed once it's in the trash, that you make sure that animals and other folks don't get into it. And number three, you keep these medicines out of the water system.
Right. A healthy life. That is what we're trying to aspire for on Monday afternoons here on Kababayan today. Thank you so much for all your valuable tips for us today.
Thank you.
More power to you.
Thanks.
For more information and for some of the other topics that Haylene talks about, that's her website on the screen. For now, thank you and more power. We'll be back more on the show. Don't go away.